Hello, everybody in internet world. How you doing?
What's happening?
Got to crack a beer. Mr. Graham playing in his phone as always, as opposed to cracking a beer. Which
well,
would
at
have
least
been
now with the video, they can catch it live.
You all got me paranoid.
About what?
Shit.
All right. Well, let's not focus on that, Mr. Graham. Let's just worry about doing a good show.
No,
Okay.
we're gonna do a good show. I'm not worried about that
Okay.
part. We always deliver.
All right.
Come on.
Yeah. Well, then stop reading reviews.
Which
Stop
is
it.
stop being self-conscious.
By the way, Mel.
Yeah, baby.
Called it.
That's why I said, what did you tell him and why?
Yeah.
Yeah,
tell
and
him
at that
anything.
right before we started at that.
And
The other thing.
well, because he said, this show, do I need to not say blank? And I went, yeah, we're going to cut that out.
Yeah, well, he'll see us next Tuesday another time.
Yes. We call it D-back. We have a bear, a very adorable bear, which stands for D-back. And most people can figure out D-back is don't be and they can figure that out on their own. It's a word we just don't need to say. I know it's the Queen's English that we like to speak on this show, but we are not part of Queen's England. We are the ones who said fuck you and went independent.
Yeah, just a bunch of sissies.
Excellent. Very good. So we're
Anyway,
starting.
if it wasn't good enough, we wouldn't be up for 11 awards. Thank you very much.
11 nominations.
Yep.
Including
Awesome.
Best Video.
Thank you very much.
Oh, very good. Very good.
More to come when we start the show properly.
Are we done jerking each other off? We're ready to do a show here.
Well, I'm offended. I'm not going to do the show now.
I heard. Okay.
Can't say anything anymore.
As Sam
Mel.
as Sam wishes I was fucking skiing right now, going down this just down the slope, skiing away.
Don't want to be canceled or anything.
What I say the other day, can't get canceled if you don't give a shit.
No, it's I know everybody has issues with the old tyrant here. I guess he has to go pee.
No,
He left his beer on the shelf.
my last 2 sips of beer on the shelf.
Oh, very good. Well, then let's.
There we
Also,
go.
while we're at it,
Now we're
Mel,
ready.
there's a couple of cups for your beers, a couple of cups for your beer for later on.
What about your beer? Oh, that's right. You're trash.
Yeah. Which, by the way,
actually, I would dispute the trash claim
I'm
now.
I'm trash. Yes, I am trash.
Well, you are trash because you like Bush.
Yeah, exactly. But I will say it here, but not on the main show because you know what? John and Ken, who would both be
This
very
is
happy.
the pre-show.
That would both be very, very happy with the fact that I, in fact, am drinking
Oh.
Bush beer tonight because I am trash and I always drink cheap domestic. Not light, though. Not light. I know the camera doesn't show it, but I'm a rounder gentleman, and I do not drink diet beer. So I do not drink Miller Lite. I do not drink Coors Light. I do not drink Bud Light. I drink Bud Heavy.
I've
Coors
seen you
Tan
drink.
Can.
I've seen you drink a Miller Lite out of absolute necessity.
Right, because it was after a soccer game, and I had already drank my
Ice House.
18 Ice House, and then really needed one more beer before I drove home. Allegedly.
Shit. Let's just, before he incriminates himself any further, let's just start this, will you?
All right. Hold on one second there. Mel, you mind muting me real quick?
Sure, he'll do that in Lara's ear
Yeah.
during sound check, but
Well, he
as
can't
soon
do
as
it
it's on the World Wide Webs.
You can't do it on the main show.
Did you want me to mute your camera too? Because I didn't do that.
No, I don't care about muting my camera. It's still not any good. It's still got
as I have
right, it
muted
is in
the
there.
microphone.
Yeah, fucking trying to not do that, but oh well. Everybody got to listen to me snort boogers into my nose.
Nice.
What are you going to do?
Hey, let's have a good show, everybody.
All right, here we go.
Hi, this is Russ Benson. I am a Liverpool supporter, and you're listening to Drunkard United Football Show. You all need Jesus.
Many would say we do need Jesus.
Well, he is risen.
Yeah, well, that's right. Oh, you celebrated that yesterday.
Yes, I did.
I just ate ham and fell asleep at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Sounds about right for you. Par for the course.
Hey, eating ham and falling asleep 4 o'clock, that's pretty much the dream. Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the Drunkard United Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, the man with the poofy hair that claims he uses no product, Mr. Samuel Graham. Sammy, how you doing, brother?
You like the fog machine I got us for the video element?
Gee, love it.
I just realized.
Hashtag mute button.
I just realized where the camera is for this now versus where it used to be. I'm blowing right down the barrel.
Hey, Mel, I appreciate you every single moment finding new ways for me to question why I fucking nominated you for Best Production. We're recording at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out on all podcast platforms. Please be sure to rate, subscribe, review, and share with a friend.
And also vote now.
Yeah, exactly. That's coming up. Should you want to chat with us, there are many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they get in touch.
Absolutely. It is at DU Football Show on all of these social medias and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email. We do check our DMs, so make sure you DM us and let us know what's going on.
And we are an 11-time nominated podcast for the Maryland Podcast Awards.
Yes.
Yes, you have to unmute
There she
yourself.
goes.
I already have two questions.
Yes.
Well, one comment. Taylor Thompson would like to say, Graham, your hair is thick. Thick like a baby Polish chick.
Yes.
And we do have a Facebook user that asks, with Everton's many losses, how many Malort bottles have you gone through this year?
1.5 so far this season.
For you personally?
No, not for me personally.
No, he's done most of that.
Yeah, because I bought this bottle back in November, and we had
early December, maybe.
Yeah, it was early December, and we had already had a full bottle of this to start the season. No, it was like a 3/4 of a bottle. Yeah, I've had to drink a lot of fucking Malort as an Everton supporter. Fortunately for Mr. Graham, he's an Arsenal supporter.
By a lot of Malort.
Right now, he has to. Now he's about to do his third in a row.
Yeah,
which I
opened the season with.
I don't have to do any. Do you have to do any email?
No. We kicked ass this weekend.
Yeah,
And sat on the couch real well.
Speaking of the ultimate bookend would be Villa, because they started off the season meh and did a lot, and then they went on this like run, and then just recently they started to suck again.
Well, yeah, that's us. I lost 3 in a row. Then we were up and down for a little bit. It's fine, whatever. And then we won 8 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then now we're again 3 in a row.
Yep. So
Brilliant.
Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. This one, both of us saw on the list and went, ooh, I cannot wait to try that one. It's simplest form, but I gotta say, you say to yourself, man, I wonder how good that would taste if it was an older version.
Yeah, I'm with you. Before we get to that, I want to clear something up. The only thing I put in my hair is conditioner. Now, it is organic conditioner from Dr. Squash, but that's the only product I use.
Is conditioner better?
Well, it makes it...
Stop looking at me, Swan!
I knew where you were going with there. I knew.
I knew too.
It must have, again, been before my time. So this
Happy
week...
Gilmore, I'm sorry, Billy Madison.
Yeah. I just haven't seen the movie in a very long time.
Okay, very good.
Perhaps he had too many daiquiris.
Yes, he did.
I've never seen a penguin just walking around.
Called a zoo.
He called the shit poop.
All right, please talk about our whiskey.
Number 4 of Whiskey Advocate's Top 20 of 20 2021. This is Jack Daniel's 10-year-old, one that we've been very excited to do. This is comes at 48.5% by volume. That would be 97 proof. Should run you about $70. Again, as we always talk about, you will get charged extra if you can still find it. It was a very limited run.
Saw it for $200.
Yeah, I bought it for $110. When I picked it up. So it's they rated it. Whiskey Advocate rated it a 93. Obviously, it's from Tennessee. And your blurb comes from Mr. Dave Fleming from the Whiskey Advocates tasting panel. And he writes, "This is Jack Daniel's first age-stated release in over a century." Wow. Didn't know that. Unveiled this summer to great excitement. Does the whiskey itself live up to the fanfare? Our verdict is that it most certainly does. Made from the same Jack Daniel's recipe used for the Core Old No. 7, this liquid has aged well and taken on lively dynamic dimensions. Sweet cherry notes and wood spice swirl around on the nose and palate, integrating with baking spice, brown sugar, candied orange, and melted butterscotch, all tempered by espresso and cedar chest. You know what? I got cedar armoire, but that's fine. This will be an annual release. And
Potato.
This will be an annual release, and the plan calls for it to reappear next summer.
Oh, good. So it's about to come out again in a few. In a few. I would imagine by May.
Probably,
it'll probably be
or beginning of June. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
which would be good because that would then keep the cost down a bit.
Right.
People wouldn't jack up so much.
It's hard to find in stores, and right now the people who do have it have jacked up the price.
Oh yeah, you can hardly find any of it anymore.
Yeah, that price will go down the minute they realize they can get more, or maybe their rep perhaps will look at them and go, "No, that one's $200 a bottle. Maybe if you made it the right price, $75, you could get it."
Right. Yeah, exactly. And annual releases, you will pay a little bit more as well. But the guy that's charging $200, he has the most expensive paperweight in the state.
Yep. Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah. Congratulations.
That one always drives me nuts whenever I see that kind of thing. Just like, come on, man.
I kind of prefer what a lot of stores are doing now with their single barrel picks when they're getting all the allocated stuff from one of our competitors. What they've started to do is buy one of the barrels, get a raffle ticket, and a chance to buy that stuff at cost, or not at cost, but at regular retail.
Right. I'm not going to charge $1,000 for Pappy like a lot of people do.
But I am going to move through some of this other product. Yeah.
Right. I'm going to charge $125. But what I do expect from you is you are going to be someone who readily buys
who regularly comes and buys my picks and shops at my store. And
because those picks are for a liquor store. I mean, that's a $10,000 to $20,000 investment depending on how large the barrel is. That's a monstrous
and because the allocated stuff only comes so often, they want to make sure they take care of their good customers.
Yeah.
And to take care of a good customer, you got to fucking be a good customer.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So they kind of force your hand, which isn't necessarily a bad thing in my opinion.
Well, let's talk about the whiskey. Sammy, what do you think?
So it tastes like regular Jack Daniels on fucking steroids.
Yeah.
It's smoother. It did drink a little hotter, but it was a higher proof when we had it neat. I have not had it with ice yet. I was letting the ice get involved there and intermingled.
I get cherry all day. When he said cherry, it's a bright kind of, really ripe tart cherry. That's
it's like
wonderful.
A friend from college that went off to law school and is now like a rich, powerful corporate lawyer. Smells familiar, but very different.
Yeah.
Big cherry up front on the palate. Yeah, it's delicious.
It's fucking delightful. It really is.
I'll be the first to say I'm not a huge fan of standard Jack Daniels.
Right.
I'll mix it in a Coca-Cola or a ginger ale.
Right.
But I'm not a huge fan of regular Jack. Somebody wants to do a shot of Jack, I'm like, something else.
It's the Lincoln County process. Is you either like it or you hate it, which is the charcoal
the charcoal filtering, yep.
Where you burn down sugar maple and you then drip the distillate through it. That's going to give it a certain level of sweetness that's far sweeter than bourbon. Now, outside of that, Jack is bourbon. I mean, it's now Jack will tell you no, we're Tennessee whiskey because of the Lincoln County process.
Yeah.
But they follow all the same rules as bourbon. It's a minimum of 51% corn. It's certainly more than that in their case. It's distilled twice. It's aged in brand new American white oak. It's not distilled over 100 and 160 proof. So they follow all of those rules. But they feel what they do adds that little extra je ne sais quoi, would it be, to make it a little bit special, a little bit better.
You will. You'll have to explain what je ne sais quoi is to the people of Tennessee. So,
Well,
No, just say it in their dialect. Je ne sais quoi? No, je ne sais que. I'm doing too much French, not enough Southern, am I?
Mel, when we were in Kentucky,
Yes.
and we went to visit.
Versailles.
No.
We did say in Versailles.
We would say Versailles, and they would go, "It's Versailles. We're rednecks down here. That's how we pronounce it." and it was like, and then we talked to someone, and they'd be, "Oh yeah, it's Versailles. Do not call it Versailles. Do not. It's Versailles."
the French one first off is Versailles.
Right.
Start there.
Right.
But it's Versailles. That's
It's Versailles.
that's a new one.
Like hard S sales, like yard sales, Versailles. We are selling.
I thought it was
burrs.
Versailles, not Versailles. But
We are
either
selling
way.
burrs. That's what we are selling.
So je ne quoi? Je ne que?
Did you guys go get creepies too while you were there?
No.
Clips.
Well done. Good joke.
Thank
Slid
you.
that one right
Bond
under.
Junior.
Terrible. Everybody, please remember to drink responsibly.
Let's do this.
Have a nice show, everybody. Look at that. Got the
Oh,
fucking
my
triad
goodness.
for the first time in a long time.
That
First
is
time
gonna make
ever, I think.
Producer Mel very, very fucking happy.
Oh, you know what? Actually, real quick, we did have, speaking of alcohol, we did have some correspondence
Okay.
from Mr. Brody.
Oh, yes, we did.
He wanted you, kind sir, to speak about Jennifer Gin because he doesn't know what that is.
What Genever is. Essentially, Genever is gin. Okay. Genever is the Dutch word for gin, and that's where
Gin was invented.
Right. Gin was invented. It eventually made its way over to England, where it became crack cocaine.
The gin epidemic. Look it up. Google it if you've never heard of it.
Seriously, I know I've said this on the show before, but I'll say this stat again. This makes the crack epidemic of the of the 80s look like a Sunday ice cream social.
Yeah.
Every man, woman, and child, on average, were consuming 1.5 gallons of gin, unregulated gin, because everyone was allowed to make it in their house, a week. 1.5 gallons children.
Yeah.
A week
Yeah.
made in somebody's house.
So 2.175 liter bottles.
I
Per
mean, how
week,
else
per-
do you get them to go to nap time?
Was this per person?
Per person.
Yeah. So this
A week.
basically the gin epidemic, the entire country of the entire UK grinded to a halt. And I believe it was Queen Victoria that ended up banning gin for a long time
Right. Well, they
to
eventually
try to get the country back to work. And
Well, they turned it into It was regulated. It had to be produced by the government or by a licensed producer. It couldn't just be produced anywhere. And in the Dutch version, Genevers tend to be more grain based, and they tend to be a heartier grain base, and they're not distilled all the way at 190. They're more distilled at 185, so you
Right.
get a little bit of that grain
Yep.
attribute to it. But with Genever, as always, with gin or Genever, the primary botanical that's added to it is juniper.
it's juniper, right?
It's
By the way,
Christmas
the
tree.
gin craze was the second half of the 1700s, so that'd been the Georgian period.
Yeah.
They were all kind of cleaned up by the time we get to the Victorian era.
Got it.
Okay.
Heard.
Yeah, so, and that is a very famous painting from the 1780s, the Brewer's Alley and the Gin Lane. The Brewer's Alley is everybody drinking beer and having fun and voluptuous women and men happy and everything's good.
Sounds like something I need to be a part of.
The
Sounds like our house.
the Gin Lane was zombies. Just like a woman dropping her child. Just dropping her child because, well, gin.
Meth, right?
Yes.
Now, yeah, that'd be the modern equivalent.
I'm
yeah.
sorry, heroin. That would be heroin.
Oh yeah, meth you would punt
Yeah,
your baby.
meth and baby. I got my drugs mixed up.
The opioid.
You'd be all hyped
the
up and
opioid
hallucinating, and you would just
addiction.
punt that little
The
fucker.
opioid addiction. A gallon and a half
Yeah.
a week. Every man, woman, and child.
Taylor Thompson would like to know, what would Son say about giving that much gin to the children? The children?
I don't think he'd appreciate that very much. Not one bit.
No. Well, maybe he encourages it so he can keep performing for the kids to get them off of gin.
I was gonna say, or he does it. He does it so they do gin and then pretends like they shouldn't be drinking gin. Because remember, he plays like he's a nice guy, but he's really a dirty fucking player.
Well, let me tell you something. We always make the analogy: Batman needs Robin, right? So how can Son be Batman if gin doesn't exist for kids? What is he
Son
supposed to
needs the
save them
children,
from? Yeah,
right?
or Batman and Joker rather. I said Robin. Batman and Joker. Jin is the Joker and Son is Batman, right?
Just needs it.
It has to be there. He loses his job.
Or Andres Gomez's ankle. He needs that to be there, or else the children, Sam.
Oh, brilliant.
Fucking children. All right, let's get into the action. Apparently, all the clubs battling for Champions League feel bad for Man U and are just trying to give fourth place away. Brighton won, Tottenham 0. Fraser Forrester won. Oh, I'm sorry. Southampton won. Arsenal 0. West Ham won. Burnley won. Manchester United 3. Norwich 2. Seagulls fucking took it to the Spurs in this match. They really did.
Well, Spurs started very, very well in this game.
I'm sorry. In order to start well, you actually have to put a shot on target. They didn't put a shot on target the entire fucking match.
Well, what I'm saying is for the first 6 minutes, they were creating all of the chances. They couldn't, what I was going to say is in typical Spurs fashion, couldn't put any of those chances on target. And they ended, as you say, with not a single shot on goal at all. And after that first 6 or 7 minutes, Brighton soaked up that pressure and then went on the front foot. They ended up with more possession, more shots, obviously, and the one more goal. Cool finish from Leandro Trossard. It was fantastic. And really, Spurs, I think part of not having a shot on target in those opening 7 minutes were Brighton were putting their bodies on the line. They were getting some good blocks in, and they didn't travel close enough to the goal to be considered a shot on target because they were blocked out by the defense. But the front three for Spurs was made to be very ordinary. Very ordinary.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. And they're pretty spectacular.
Right.
You made one of the best offensive front three in the league, arguably in Europe, look ordinary.
Oh, yeah.
Which credit to them for doing.
Yeah, I wouldn't put them in the top three in Europe. I think Robert Lewandowski on his own is better than Spurs front three put together.
I said one of the best top threes in Europe, as in the three of them
I see
are
what you're
one
saying.
of the best collective top threes.
I see what you're saying. But yeah, it was just a wasted opportunity.
Yeah.
And now Brighton are the kings of North London.
In my way downtown, walking fast. I'm a seagull. Go fuck yourself.
Son of a bitch. It sucks. I mean, obviously they took us out last week, and then this. So it was really, really poor from Spurs.
So we talked about him a little bit last week. God, why am I forgetting his name? Started with an M. The one who put it to you guys. Mwepu. I think they're going to be okay letting Basuma
go.
because they're going to lose someone every season. They're going to get good profit for him, and I think Basuma's going to be of midfielders out there. I think Basuma, Tielemans, and Rice are all guys that are going to be getting gulfed up by the quote big six. Even though West Ham's in the argument right now for the big six.
I have a hot take.
Sure.
Declan Rice is going nowhere.
Okay. Very good.
Because I think he is, unless the Dildo Brothers want to cash in, that'd be the only, they would have to force him out, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think West Ham are honestly in prime position to win the Europa League right now.
They are.
They have a fair amount of momentum in that competition, which we'll talk about later.
We'll get to it at the end, so perfect. Teaser.
Right. But with that, winning it comes Champions League qualification, which I think Declan Rice, because of what he's given to that club, wants to represent them in the Champions League.
Very good.
So we'll go into the specifics a bit later on. But that's why I think Declan Rice is the least likely to move out of the rest of those people.
So, words you are not going to want to hear. Fraser Forster.
Fucking, I can't say that anymore.
And be counted, son.
No, sit down and let us score.
He only made 4 saves, but those 4, those were all going to the back of the net.
That being said, they were a comfortable height for him, being 6'5" or whatever he is.
But there was one he got down on that was like the little scooper.
But like the Saka one, like he had a lot to do there still because he was coming across the goal. The ball got crossed on the ground very quickly. The very first chance, right before halftime, and he did expertly well to get across and get to it. But I just think if Saka keeps that on the floor, he has no chance to get there.
Right.
Going that far and down that far. But what are you going to do? It was one of those, I wrote down some stats to avoid me having to get emotional. Arsenal led in every single category except scoring.
Yeah. No, very true.
76% possession. 23 shots with 6 of those being on target. Not a great return there from that. But it was all Fraser Forster. The front 4 for Arsenal without Lacazette being there looked very disjointed. They looked like 4 individuals as opposed to the flowing team they've looked like recently.
Naby Keita's not the guy.
Not Naby Keita, Lakanga. Keita plays for Liverpool.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Eddie Nketiah is who you're talking about up front.
Nketiah.
The other problem is he's out of contract at the end of the summer anyway. He doesn't give a shit. Although he should be putting himself in the shop window or he's going to end up in the championship.
You would think he would.
I see him starting for Norwich up front next season if he continues on playing like that. Yeah. But I don't know. We just couldn't take our chances, essentially. It's just what it was. I mean, we dominated in every other aspect of the game. That's why people calling for Mikel Arteta's head are fucking insane.
Do you think that a little bit of that overflow from the week prior where Southampton gave up 6 goals, but Forster made 8 saves and 3 off the post, where do you think that little bit of confidence for him, even though he got scored on a bunch, kind of went, yeah, I'm making saves right now. You're not fucking scoring, especially when you make a couple of, because one of those was real quick, early in the match, where he just kind of goes, not happening. And then by the end of the match, their defense just goes, our keeper's on fire. No, you're not fucking. No. It's 1-0. We're gonna win this game 1-0. Fuck you.
Well, and their goal was completely just opportunistic, sucker punch, lucky bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, the why would you clear a ball back towards the box that way?
Oh God, yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Why you would do that? He had a player wide of him and a player inside he could have easily just touched that ball to.
Yeah.
Now that would have given us time to recover. But he just panicked and hoisted it back into the net, which doesn't make much sense to me. But you take that chance, and one of the I think it was Jan Benderek was the one that scored.
Yep.
He stayed forward and took a chance and got lucky.
Yep.
It was a good strike though. I mean, he took the chance well. Didn't give Ramsdale a bit of a chance, but I think Fraser Forster and Nick Pope, who will come on to with his performance, I think the two of them are maybe giving Ramsdale something to think about in terms of backing
Forster
up.
Is Ireland.
I thought he was English.
I think he's Ireland.
Mel, can you produce us a nationality for Fraser Forster, please? Because I thought he was English, and that would give it'd be Ramsdale and Pope would be the two backing up Pickford at this stage.
Right.
But these last couple performances for Ramsdale haven't been particularly good. And Fraser Forster, as you said, stood on his head a bit.
Fraser Forster is British.
Okay.
So he is English.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hexham, United Kingdom is where he is from.
Wait, where?
Hexham.
Wrexham.
H-H-E-X-H-A-M.
Never heard of that.
I haven't either. I immediately thought Wrexham.
Google Maps, Wrexham.
Wrexham almost killed him.
Wrexham is in Wales. That's the team that Ron Reynolds owns.
Yeah, exactly.
But Hexham, I've never heard of that place.
Let's see. Hexham is
While she's doing that, I have Malort to do.
Yeah.
So take
also Rob McElherney as well from Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes.
It's not just the pretty
but
one.
He's attractive.
It's on the coast, not far from Newcastle.
Oh,
okay, so it's in England.
Okay.
Yeah.
Up near the Tyne where?
So I think, but I think in this World Cup pseudo year, in the build up here is kind of splits the summer. I think Fraser Forster's trying to make him a case to be there. And Aaron Ramsdale has not covered himself in glory over the last couple of games.
No, not at
So,
all.
anyway, to turn towards this camera, more Malort. I know this is exciting for everybody on video.
Oh, I'm just
Are you
taking a ton of pictures now.
Oh,
just
good.
To be a deck. Oh, that came down with a force. You right there, bro?
Nope. No.
No. No.
That sucks.
No.
God, that sucks. All right, move on.
Dyche out at Burnley. This
Strange
does
move.
not make sense at all.
Strange move. So I like to look at the world differently sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I like to take in other people's perspective and points of view. I also like to criticize people when I don't understand those weird things that I came up with. But this one, the literally only thing I could think of that makes any sort of sense whatsoever is the now American ownership, aren't they, of Burnley?
Yeah.
Want the new manager, or just resigned to being relegated, and want the new manager the opportunity to, whoever that is, they haven't hired anyone yet.
Right. Yeah. Right now it's their.
It's been me and one of the other backroom
he's
staff.
on the staff. The primary guy has not coached above League One. I'm
Nice.
sorry, he's not coached above League Two. I think it was. Yeah. He
Well,
coached,
maybe they're preparing for a big
coached
drop.
at Tranmere was his last job. Was Tranmere.
We all know how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Have Mike Dean in his ear.
Honestly, makes me wonder if he's one of the two guys we met from Tranmere in Baltimore.
Could be.
Yeah.
But so what would be to give the new manager time to assess the squad before going down and deciding who they can sell, who they can keep, who they think is still bought into the cause, and all that kind of stuff. That's the only thing that makes sense, because if you think you have a chance to stay up, the guy that's been there for a decade, that has gotten a song out of these people and kept Burnley in the league for 6 fucking years, that's the guy that is probably best suited to take them to safety. Give you the best chance.
There hasn't been a lot of conversation, but most of it has been the players did not see it coming and were shocked that it happened.
Right. Correct. This is a complete... I don't think anybody was consulted. I think the ownership was just over it.
Yeah.
But it just smacks that they're resigned to being relegated. It just says, we don't think we can stay up anyway, because a new coach coming in now wouldn't do anything. Mm-hmm. Unless you think maybe the players are playing for their job, the new guy's here, we might get relegated, we're going to get sold, but I like it here. But who really likes it in Burnley?
Yeah. Thinking of their...
likes it in Burnley?
No, think of their squad.
You didn't answer my question.
Nobody.
Thank you.
I felt like it didn't need to be answered because it was obvious.
It was rhetorical, but I like when you answer my rhetorical questions.
Tchaikovsky is probably getting sold because there's value in him, and I would
big time.
And I would imagine McNeil is getting sold because he's been hinted at a lot. But I would say Corday and the big German.
Weghorst.
Yeah.
No, big fucking German
No, yes,
is Per Mertesacker.
got it.
Protected.
The slightly smaller German
Yes.
to the big fucking German.
Thank you. Yes.
Both of those guys got brought in and are on long contracts, so I would imagine they're not gonna get sold. So as talented as Cornet is as a player,
But they may get loaned out.
right? But he's on a 4-year deal.
I know,
So
but that's what I'm saying. If we think we
Right.
can get up without their services
Right.
somehow,
I
right?
have a feeling that those two guys would stay there, and I would also fancy them to come right back up if they had those two guys in their service.
That's what I think, though. This is the counter to that, is you're able to loan, because there is value in them. You can loan them out for a significant fee. You can use, $5-6 million. You could take that $12 million that you got from the two of them, buy a perfectly serviceable championship striker, right? And then when the league come right back up, they come back from loan, you move right back in it.
Yeah, agreed.
You know, I mean, you got to think with his failings at the Premier League level in Alexander Mitrovic, I told you before, I think he should make a career of fucking just sign 1-year deals. The highest bidder gets me for the next championship season.
Mm-hmm.
I score your 40 goals, I get you up, and then I end my deal, and highest bidder gets me again.
Yeah, and just keep moving on. Absolutely.
You know, and so if they have $12 million all of a sudden, and Fulham's going up, and they know Mitrovic can't do it, why wouldn't they accept that?
Now, on to the match itself, and let's be quick, because honestly, Easter Sunday, I sat down and watched this match because I have a routine interest in it, as it were. But I could say the following: it was not a fun match to watch. Burnley played well and had opportunities, but even with them having opportunities, they almost gave away all three. And if it wasn't for, as you're about to come on to, one Mr. Nick Pope, they would have.
Absolutely correct. He stood on his fucking head in this game.
And
Couple of world-class saves.
West Ham's got to feel done dirty that they didn't walk away with all 3 points, because you had Mikel Antonio on a one-on-one break with Nick Pope, and Pope came up with the save. And it wasn't like Antonio didn't put off a good shot. He put it where it needed. You normally want to go just above the leg because you don't want to sky it. So you go just above their leg as they're falling away. And he still managed, as he was sliding away, to get the hand up and fucking knock.
It was excellent.
That's a you as a striker did everything right. The goalie just made a magnificent save. And what are you going to fucking do?
Yeah, you can't really beat that. But Nick Pope gave Burnley every chance to be in this game and to win this game, to be fair. And they did take the lead. Weghorst, big surprise. The SLBG, slightly less big German.
There we go. Big, actually BFT, slightly less big fucking German.
Okay,
because he's still a gentleman of larger size. And
yeah,
you need to.
That's fair.
You need to denote his largeness.
He did very well to get to that header, by the way. I don't think there was a foul either in the build-up, which some people were complaining about. Climbing on the back. I mean, I think he made contact before the ball, or with the ball, rather, before the player. So I don't think there was any question there. But Nick Pope continued to just keep West Ham out. And it had to be ridiculously frustrating because West Ham dominated this game. I mean, it was a very poor overall performance from Burnley, except for Nick Pope.
Yeah, but that's
that's all you need. That is getting Burnley. That's why it's a thing.
You would have liked all 3 points if you're Burnley, but that one's pretty big because now it makes it 3, and your opponents this week are Wolverhampton and Southampton, both at home, and Everton have Leicester at home and the Merseyside derby at Anfield. You think at your building you might be able to pull it off, and all you need to do is have you win one that they don't win.
Right.
That's all you need. All you need.
Now, plus side, also, by the way, for Burnley, is their training grounds. Grass will probably grow back in properly. Because all the earthworms will be just allowed to live their lives and fertilize the ground and eat the bad shit and do what they normally do.
Yeah, but what does the new manager looky like?
A wet fish.
It took a Cristiano Ronaldo hat trick for Manchester United at Old Trafford, Freudian slip. Sorry, Man U fans.
You're just trying to piss them off.
To beat last place Norwich. You had a 2-0 lead that you pissed away to fucking Norwich.
It's funny, isn't it? I'm trying to find. Yes, I did just pick my phone up. Live World.
And it took a free kick from Ronaldo that Tim Krul should have saved to escape at home with 3 points.
I'm trying to find this meme that showed up.
Ooh, dong.
Was that the
more?
I'll edit that out.
Yeah. It's still going to exist in the minds of all of the listeners because they're going to know I'm disappointed.
Here, Mark Goldbridge.
Can't edit it all out.
Mark Goldbridge. Right?
There we go.
He says, the Manchester United defense is about as useful as a red light in Grand Theft Auto.
Yep.
The video game. The defending from Harry Maguire, especially on that first goal, was schoolboy at best. I can think of at least school-age children that I know now that are like kids of friends of mine that would have defended better than that in that situation.
And the fact that Kieran Dow on the other side, just talking about the rest of the defense, Kieran Dow literally just ran down an empty side of the field to put it away easily.
It's nuts. 35 shots between both teams. So really you could say they both went for it. Norwich just aren't as good at finishing, really, as Cristiano Ronaldo. That's what it boils down to.
De Gea had a worldie in the second half that was right when they made it 2-2. That could have easily been 3-2 the other way.
Yep.
And United would have probably crumbled.
Absolutely, they would have. Norwich were the architects of their own demise to an extent. Dwelling on the ball, which you can't do.
Tim Krul
at this level.
Also, Tim Krul should have had that third one. The free kick.
I tend to agree with you. He got fingertips to it.
It was not even fingertips. It hit both of his hands. Both of his hands were extended.
It was struck well, but a goalkeeper of his caliber, you would think,
hands. It's got to get away.
You would think that he'd be able to save it.
It almost looked like it went right through his hands, and even with the greatness that is Ronaldo, that's got to go wide, man. You got to get that wide. It's just
you do.
What a keeper's got to do.
He almost did. I mean, it hit off the inside of the post. It's unfortunate, but it should have been a better save than that. It should have went out for a corner. But that's just what happens. And you can't expect to win games when you make those kind of mistakes. I mean, that first goal was pitiful.
Yeah, agreed.
Pitiful. Defending, just to dwell on the ball that long with a Manchester United player bearing down is ridiculous.
Right.
I don't get it.
Don't worry. We'll talk about somebody who dwelled on the ball a little bit longer in the next segment.
But, honestly, good on Cristiano Ronaldo. He still had to finish the chances. And obviously dealing with what he's dealing with now, with what came out today, with the death of his son. Very sad, obviously. Our hearts and, thoughts and prayers and all that lot go out to him. And it's something that no parent should ever have to experience.
Of course.
One of my brothers experienced that. I have personal knowledge of how this feels, and it sucks.
Yeah, really does.
But the girl child, they were twins. The female child is living.
Good.
And they haven't released what the problem was as of yet, but the son succumbed to whatever it was, which is terribly sad and very sorry to hear.
Back to just the action a little bit. Interesting note, very much kind of a throwaway, but Paul Pogba gets subbed on by old man Juan Mata and is met with a sea of fucking boos.
He didn't play very well.
Could Paul Pogba be the antithesis of everything that's currently wrong at Manchester United?
I think he's been that for some time. People have been criticizing him left and right, all from Graham Souness and his hair to the fans and his performances and everything in between. He can't seem to catch a break. Somebody was giving him shit for some ad campaign he did the other 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. I mean, Harry Maguire slipped and kicked him in the face.
Yeah, that was fabulous.
I just don't, your own captain does that to you. What are you going to do?
My question, is there a Harry Maguire points at things of him kicking Pogba in the face? It was a weekend at Wembley for the FA Cup semis. Unfortunately, we get the final that only Liverpool and Chelsea supporters will care about. Liverpool 3, Manchester City 2, Chelsea 2, Crystal Palace 0. We kind of went for a while on the first segment, and I want to make sure that we cover the tail end and not have to give it up. So we'll be quick about this because honestly, the games didn't offer a ton.
I thought the City-Liverpool game was very good, personally.
One as good as the game the week prior.
It went in stretches, obviously. Liverpool raced out to a big lead.
Yeah, 3-0.
I was going to save it for the D-back segment, but I have to save that for Manchester City fans because of what they did. So
yeah, save that there. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Zach Steffen.
Jesus.
the one position on the field that we always get credit for in world football is goalkeeping. And then you fucking do that.
Yeah.
You jackass.
Tony
you have
Meola,
taken American respect
Brad
overseas.
Friedel,
Yeah.
Casey Keller, Tim Howard.
Brad
by the way,
Guzan when he first got over there.
The man who has the World Cup record for most saves in a match was 16.
Was an American.
16 fucking saves. And Zach Steffen cannot clear a ball when it's at his feet with plenty of time to do so.
The first touch was very strange. It did not take him into space, which he couldn't get the ball out of his feet.
Just kick. Just
Yeah,
swing
just
your leg.
toe it out.
Swing your way. So
Just
doesn't
toe
matter
it
where
out.
it goes. Swing
Yeah.
your leg. Just get
It was
rid
like
of it.
when you saw what Ederson did at the weekend, the weekend prior with the having to clear the ball off his own lines. He took a bad touch.
Yeah, just get rid of it.
Well, but Ederson was cool, and then it was almost like Zach Steffen was like, "I'm going to be cooler than you."
Yeah.
And then he never at any one point panicked or looked flustered or did anything, but he should have. Maybe if he had been more flustered, he would have got rid of the ball.
Until he was on the ground clutching his fucking head going, what did I do wrong?
Yeah. He's an idiot. It was pitiful. Mane with the and then I also for as good of a strike as it was to get it on target from that floated ball, which is always kind of difficult to judge, especially coming he hit it with his right foot, it was coming over his left side. So to get that right to put it on target was a great strike. But I don't think it was good enough to beat Steffen at his near post.
No.
I think Steffen, you have to ask questions about him with that.
Oh, yeah.
I think he should have been there to save that third goal.
Matt Turner for keeper, U.S. Men's National Team World Cup.
Fuck yeah. At this point, absolutely.
Zach makes too many gaffes for me, and he doesn't play enough. He does not play enough to put him out there for me.
Yeah, it was stupid. I couldn't believe it. And that's really what the game boiled down to, because every single statistical category, they were dead even.
Yeah.
Including what would have been goals if he didn't do that dumb shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And City, very interesting play from Pep. He had Rodri and Gundogan. He had guys on the bench he could have put in. He only made one sub.
Yeah, and Fernandinho didn't have himself a great game. After all the calls recently of play Fernandinho. And a few weeks ago, he came into the side after a long absence and played very, very well in the Champions League. And then here to look like this was just looked a yard off it.
Under noted was Grealish's goal was fucking bloody brilliant. It was a great.
Yeah, I guess.
It's a great hit.
Is that the one in the top? Was that the one in the top left corner?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
right,
like the
right
angle
on the inside of the post.
I liked the angle on that one that they did from in the goal.
Mm-hmm.
That was brilliant. That showed it coming up over Allison.
Yep.
And I to that point as well, I thought City's second goal was quite fortunate. That it squeezed through just kind of off the inside thigh of Allison and fell directly to a City player to tuck home.
Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, it was. I found that to be very fortunate. I think probably a fair result for this game, honestly, would have been 1-1.
Yeah.
And then going to extra time.
Yeah.
But, Liverpool did what they did. City made their mistakes. And, and that can't bode well for their confidence going into the Champions League. That can't bode well for their confidence going into the rest of the league. They still have 2 or 3 tricky fixtures to get through.
I still think that Pep purposely put out a weaker squad and went, I've won this thing enough. If we can win with what I got, great. Otherwise, I don't care. I think Pep is putting the focus towards the league and the Champions League, whereas
definitely the Champions League.
Whereas Jurgen, for the first time in his life, actually gave a shit about this cup and decided, oh, fuck yeah, now I care because I could win the quadruple. Look at my shiny teeth. Palace had a great game plan, but ultimately it just got broken down by Chelsea.
It got broken down by not being able to play Conor Gallagher.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
Elise, when he came in, and I don't really know who played in that role. Maybe Eze played in Gallagher's role, but he
still hasn't played a ton.
But he also just doesn't have as much running in him as Conor Gallagher.
Yeah. Gallagher's a bit of a lunatic. He's
everywhere. Yeah, he's the fucking meth head.
Yeah.
Just all over the place. And it just didn't happen, for them, which was unfortunate. It was kind of the perfect quote-unquote professional job that we talk about by Chelsea.
Oh, it's exactly what it was.
You think Kouyaté could have scored that header? He fluffed, missed it, hit his shoulder. Could have fell to not Zaha, might have been Eze actually that was rushing in, or Tyreek Mitchell, one of the two, but was too far in front of them. They couldn't get to it, just puttered out for a goal kick.
Anderson had a great chance at the end. Mitchell,
Well, that was to equalize.
Yeah, Mitchell had the mistake.
Which
that
sucks
led
for
to the
him because
goal.
his meteoric rise this season. I mean, he was in Brentford's academy. They shut the academy down. He finds himself at Palace, and he's being talked about as being considered for an England call-up.
Yeah.
Like, he's had such a good season to be that young.
Yeah.
It almost looked like the occasion got to him a bit.
Yeah.
Now, Chelsea had the ball a lot, which is very mentally draining. And in that position, who knows what he was thinking, but they're potentially was some sort of. Do you hear that?
Okay, good. It's not just my headphones. Sorry, everybody. We're going to pause for a second.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. And, of course, we are now left with the final that nobody wants. It's a team that's been there 3 times that has lost it versus the team that never gives a shit about it that's now going to win one and get celebrated for it because they're playing the team that's been there the last 3 times and has lost it.
In a row.
Yeah.
First team to do that.
Yeah.
I thought Arsenal was in there when they said that stat, and then I remembered there was they won 2, missed out, then won it a third time.
Yeah.
So it was 3 and 4 years, but they weren't consecutive.
Right. Damn. Yeah.
But yeah, it sucks. I mean, Palace executed what they could very well. They tried. They gave it a good go. It was their first time in a semifinal for a very long time, if at all.
Yeah.
And it was a valiant effort, but ultimately, you know, the goal from Ruben Loftus-Cheek, unfortunate, took that little deflection off of Anderson, who was just trying to get in the way, hit off his ass. And then the Tyreek Mitchell giveaway just it's just frustrating because I really like him as a player.
The FA Cup final will be observed by nobody but Arsenal supporter. I mean, sorry.
No, we have to watch it because we have to talk about it. And it'll be the only football on that day. It has its own day again. Yeah, you got to watch it. I'm telling you now. Also, real quick, Kai Havertz deserves a red because that dive was so bad.
It was really bad.
Really bad.
Rounding out the rest of the league, and so that happened, which is really only 2 games, but I wanted to add something. Oh, yeah. There's a Prem club in every European Cup semifinal.
Yep.
Huh. Brentford 2, Watford 1, Newcastle 2, Leicester 1, Liverpool and City advance in the Champions League, West Ham advances in Europa, and the Foxes advance in the McRib Cup.
Also, though, in the Europa League especially, Barcelona got knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
So that leaves, was it Eintracht Frankfurt,
Mm-hmm.
who plays West Ham?
We're going to get to that. So,
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
let's first talk. Watford blew it almost in the way that they won it Troy Deeney style against Leicester.
Yeah, no shit.
They miss a ball that hits off the post, falls to a player inside the 6, who then manages to go high and wide.
Yeah. So I don't even care about the game.
And then down at the other end, a minute later, Brentford score, win 2-1.
Yeah. I don't even care about the game.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't matter. It was dead even in every statistical category except goals. The opener came from a long throw, blah, 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 blah. No one cares. Doesn't matter. Norgard and Dennis scored for Watford and Brentford, respectfully. Don't care. What I care about is the player that got the ball in the box to put it high and wide after, I think it was Musa Sissoko that hit the post.
Mm-hmm.
His last name is spelled Louza,
Mm-hmm.
right? With the British accent, and I can't remember her name to save my life, but we love her commentary. The female commentator that's been on this year on the color,
Peacock, yeah.
on the color commentary.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, "Oh, loser, loser, loser! You left the goal gaping, loser." Which sounds like we take the piss out of Huang.
Yeah.
She's taking a piss because he missed this goal.
Calling him a loser.
Calling him a loser.
Pretty
And I had never
fabulous.
heard of that player before, that game, that moment. So
Mm-hmm.
I just thought, until I looked at the lineups, that she was calling some dude a loser, which would have been better than what actually happened. But I still like the fact that she was taking the piss out of his name.
And then Janssen, valuable fantasy points, scores the winner for me.
Fuck off. It was an excellent free kick from Christian Eriksen. I think Brentford would have been safe anyway without Christian Eriksen this season, but they really helped.
Well, that 3 was point number 39, which no team has ever been demoted from the Premier League when scoring 39 points. So it is now safe to say, Brentford, welcome to your second
Sophomore
season
Yep.
in the Prem. Now, hopefully it does not go the way of Huddersfield or Sheffield, where you get just demoralized your next season because everybody's figured you out.
Well, I don't think they will. And the reason I say that is because they have some pretty dynamic players, but they also cut costs in a way that will allow them to retain those players, where they don't have to sell their best striker every season anymore.
Right, exactly.
The other piece to that is Huddersfield plan was, if they can't play against you, kick you. That's not Brentford's plan.
No, that's true.
So there's a lot less getting sent off. There's a lot less, getting suspended for yellow
Very fair.
accumulation.
Very fair.
There's a lot less of that. So you start more games with your core 11. And so I think Brentford may be here to stay for a fair few seasons, to be completely honest.
Do we think that might be the nail in the coffin for Watford? Because this week they play City, which I imagine that's going to be a thumping.
To stay up, I think they would need to win every game they have left. Yeah. And to do that, you now have to get past City away. And that's not going to happen.
No. Fox's stumble.
But what a gross way.
But
the final nail is that chance at the end of the game. You hit a post and put it wide.
Oh, yeah. Their fans are all just, their supporters are going to just be like, that's
bunch of losers.
That's the moment we went down.
Bunch of losers. Show title.
He's really pitching for it, isn't he?
Louza, Mel. Write it down.
Foxes stumble yet again at St. James Park. We called it. They do this.
Yeah, they
Leicester
do.
does not like going out to the Tyne Ware, man. They have a hell of a time with fucking Newcastle in their building.
Yeah, but Leicester was a really weird one. Had 69% possession, but were outshot 16-8 and 7-2 on target.
Yeah. Crazy.
They just had no impetus at all. It was just like... So I put up a meme during the Arsenal game. You know the stick figure that gets drawn that has a stick in his hand?
Yes.
And he's poking some pile on the floor and it just says, do something?
Right.
That's how I also felt about Leicester. the next
Like,
when they played.
Do something.
Do something.
Go for it.
Do something.
Go ahead.
It's like you can't. It's not 5 passes get you a goal like in training, or you have to actually try to shoot, try to affect the game.
Right.
They just didn't. And Newcastle with their 21 or 31% possession, they were pretty ruthless with it. They created a ton of chances.
What a goal for the winner.
You'll never see a better diving header.
Oh my God.
That's fantastic.
And like at the 94th minute, like right at the death. Oh, it was fabulous.
Now, I do have to say something to one Mr. Alan Yanis, personal friend of ours, host of the Maryland Class Holes podcast.
Your arch nemesis.
My arch nemesis, yes, but he still is a good friend. As they say, keep your enemies closer. And former Arsenal player Joe Willock provided the cross for Bruno Guimaraes to do what he did. So you're welcome.
Find a way to always make it about the pro Arsenal agenda. Let's go ahead and move into real quickly because there's not we don't want to really get into the games themselves, but it's worth mentioning. Liverpool beats Benfica and will now be facing Villarreal in the semis, which might be the easiest walk to a Champions League final ever for a club.
Yeah, right.
One might have said Liverpool got the quote Barcelona treatment.
Yeah, Unai Emery's doing some pretty good stuff. Which doesn't pain me. I hated him.
No.
I couldn't stand him at Arsenal. It was not a good fit.
And then City, Atletico.
Wait. But dare I say, it should be a good evening out for Liverpool.
Okay. City, Atletico, which is funny because then the press was bitching in Atletico about City playing kind of a slowed down, dirty game, which is what you do all the fuck. Like, why?
That's
are you
how
hating
you've
them?
played in Europe since Diego Simeone's been your manager.
How can you hate the fact that they did a U to
100%.
U? Like, and they now find them facing Madrid in the semis, who Madrid almost pissed it off to Chelsea as they were down 3-0, which was enough to get Chelsea up on aggregate. And then Chelsea gave up 2 goals.
Yeah, pretty much.
I got to tell you, honestly, City's probably happier to be facing Madrid than they are Chelsea because Chelsea always gets them for 1.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think you're probably right about that for sure.
But yeah, we're set up that there could potentially be a all-prem final just like last year.
Yep.
And both teams, I mean, honestly deserved. They both have played the champions. The Champions League is a chess match because you still have to worry about the league. So you put players in who kind of are, quote, Champions League players, and that's what they do. How we would have cup competition players here in the country, and credit them both for finding a way to pardon me, to navigate that and get through. And it's very exciting to see, actually. And as much as I hate both sides, I will be sitting in front of the TV if they're both in the Champions League final.
100%.
No doubt about it.
Have to.
West Ham get Frankfurt in the semis. And we were talking about the easy run-up. There's the other semi is Red Bull Leipzig, who are a very good team, and Rangers. It could be
Battle of Britain.
Rangers and West Ham. I have to say here, the old Everton guy in me is rooting like hell for fucking David Moyes. If there's a manager who fucking deserves this kind of a glory, this kind of a cup, it's David fucking Moyes, man.
Didn't Duncan Ferguson play for Rangers at one point in his career?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Well, who you siding with? I think you're probably scareder of Duncan Ferguson.
No. And Dunk played under David Moyes, and I bet you Dunk would be like,
Of course
really
he
like to
did.
see
He's an
Moyes get
Everton
one.
legend. I don't think
Yeah.
he gives a shit about Jers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is... Do you know what happened in the quarterfinal
No, I do not.
with the Camp Nou?
Mm-mm.
Of the 100-odd thousand seats, 36,000 or something like that
Mm-hmm.
were Eintracht Frankfurt fans.
Wow.
So there was talk that a lot of people weren't going to be going to the game on the Barcelona side. And so the club encouraged season ticket holders to sell their tickets to people that might not go to football on a regular basis and da-da-da-da-da. Well, they just sold them to the highest bidder, and all of them were German supporters.
You mean to tell me they pulled a Washington Redskins / football team / Commanders move,
Yes.
where they sell all their tickets to Dallas Cowboy fans, and their home match was a Dallas Cowboys game?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
Pretty
that's
much.
terrible.
Well, the other thing, too, speaking of that, the Washington Commanders are being investigated by the FBI.
Yes, that was going to be potentially parting words, but there's more we could talk about because,
I won't go into why.
It could have been Bullet Whiskey because they did some stuff that certainly needs to be talked about. It could have been the old Commanders because they apparently the owner's not just a pimp, he's a thief.
Let's just do a brief snippet on it later.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there ended up being 30,000 or so more plus Frankfurt fans in the Camp Nou for that quarterfinal, and they ended up knocking Barcelona out of the competition.
Yep.
Which maybe on one hand, if you're kind of not a purist, because obviously you want your team to win and do well, but you don't want a handout. You don't want an easy ride to the final, I guess, if you're
Right.
if you're a purist or a stand-up supporter or whatever. And West Ham playing at Camp Nou would have been like a fucking Twilight Zone.
Well,
Like, what are we, the Dildo Brothers going over there going, hola, nice to see you.
well,
Not even trying to speak Spanish.
thank goodness that the Camp Nou had not gotten that win, because if they had, they'd have done the same thing against West Ham, and then there would have been that many West Ham supporters in the Camp Nou. Not what you want.
That would have been going well.
No,
Yeah.
I mean,
But-
we've all seen Green Street Hooligans.
Yeah.
It's not what you want.
But really good on West Ham, to be honest. They're flying high in the competition. They've kind of slipped in the league a bit, but that was to be expected. They don't have a very deep squad. So what are you going to do?
So the final one, Leicester, don't look now, are in the semis of the McRib Cup.
Playing Roma, aren't they?
Yes. Wouldn't it be fitting? And now, of course, I would like to see Leicester advance and win, but wouldn't it be fitting if the McRib Cup was first won by the special one?
Oh, 100% it would.
Jose
100% it
Mourinho.
would. Because how much he slagged it off pre-competition. And then now he cares? I'd love it if he won it. That would be brilliant. It would be at least a month of content for us.
Bread is bread and cheese is cheese.
Sure money.
Trophies are trophies.
Trophies are trophies. Well said, good sir. Well
All
said.
right. Here we go. I lost.
Yeah.
Oh, I should probably tell you what this is if you're joining us for the first time. This is Sure Money, where we place bets to better inform you how you should bet and guaranteed to win some money.
Surely do what we don't do, and
Yeah.
you will win money.
Yeah, this segment is basically opposite day. So my cup of losers, which we do have a cup of losers. I'm not going to show you the entire thing, but you should get the point if you know what I'm talking about,
Yes.
because we're not promoting that evil man's place. But we are. It's funny, so we did it.
Very funny.
Fucking Arsenal gets me every time.
Yeah.
Is mine. So
Fitting.
that's unfortunate.
Fitting. Mine says, got Burnley again.
Yeah, which is also a T-shirt you can find in the Drip Shack. Quickly before they get relegated. We may need to come up with like a championship corner badge to then apply to the rest of that shirt.
it.
So
Love
we
it,
can,
love
keep,
it,
so we
love
can
it.
keep it going. But yeah, so I'm now down $16. Okay, I've fallen back into the red, which is
Oh.
not good.
That excites me with the bets I'm making this week.
Yeah. So I'm going to round out this segment, as I usually do, with a very safe and considered parlay. But I'm going to let you go first there, kind sir.
Burnley drew West Ham, which was I got the Brentford at the death, but I could not get West Ham at the death as Nick Pope makes a brilliant save to knock away what would have been the winner. And I am down $1,229.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Mr. Graham, but 20.588 0.8235% of the time. It works 100% of the time. Going for broke. I am doing a midweek parlay and a weekend parlay.
Wait.
So 2 different $100 bets.
You know what? That's actually not a terrible return for a gambler.
Yeah, no.
That's 1 in 5. And if you time it right to be the expensive one, it's actually not horrendous.
Yeah, but the problem is I'm down 1,200.
You haven't timed it right.
I've not timed it right at all. But I'm going to time it right because I'm doing a midweek parlay where City beats Brighton over 3.5 goals combined, and Liverpool beat United over 2.5 goals combined. This will win me plus $412. And then I am taking City to beat Watford and a total of 5.5 goals at plus 491. If I hit both and you lose yours, I will be ahead of you in the standings. Going for it. It's Sammy's last stand, bitches.
6 games before the season's over.
Yep.
Well done.
Going for broke.
It sounds like a normal.
Yep, exactly.
This is my last stand when there's still a lot of time to go.
It's a very, very inside joke, but this is Ani's last stand, Mr. Graham. Ani's last stand.
Well, the problem is when Brighton face City, they're probably going to say something along the lines of,
Walking fast, I'm a seagull, go fuck yourself.
I'll play that again for you.
yeah, that'd be nice.
Get my way downtown, walking fast, I'm a seagull, go fuck yourself.
And you're going to fuck off this bet.
Yep, very good.
Anyway, I believe we have somebody on the phone, as we usually do. Our good friend Pat has joined us, and he's got something for us.
And now, it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, not my world's doing pretty good. How about yours?
Just getting ready to go back to work tomorrow after a long vacation, so kind of a bummer. But it was a good vacation. That's fun.
Do you have a Harry Potter wand?
Well, my 2 kids do.
Did
Yeah.
that sent you back a college education?
No, they had to save their own money up for that. Yeah. Well, one kid still owes me, but whatever. We'll get into that. That's another time.
Ruthless.
Papa's got fucking bets to make, man. He's got he's
true.
got his own demise of their college education.
Well, I was going to say, at the last 3rd of July party, Pat's wife told me he had a Harry Potter wand.
I'm just wondering, is Pat running the book for his kids and one of them is down?
He comes out, I give you
Are you
sitting at
charging
dinner.
juice on one of your kids,
Yeah.
Pat?
Sitting at dinner. I bet you 3 to 1.
No,
knock
it's
that
called
milk
trash
over.
detail.
Is that what you do, Pat? Sitting at dinner?
What? Put them to work and make sure
No.
they take out the trash and
I'll bet you 3 to 1 you spill that milk.
what?
Told you. Yeah, and then he goes right up the piggy bank. 1 drop of milk on that table. Takes out $6. It's pretty good.
I'm
All right, buddy.
confused.
Did you win or lose? What's going on? What do you got happening?
I lost because your team lost. That was like my safety bet, taking Arsenal.
The safety bet. I believe I read your email already, and you missed all 3 picks, actually, sir. So it
Yeah,
wasn't me
I
that
did. I
anything.
did
Look,
miss all 3.
You can
But,
bet if you want
the-
to. You can leave your bet behind. And if your friends don't bet, and if they don't bet, well, they're no friend of mine.
All right, so I'm going to take some week bets and some weekend bets. So first, I like plus 1.5 goals on Manchester United against Liverpool at minus 120. I'll take Chelsea over Arsenal at minus 117. I'll take Tottenham over Brentford at minus 107. I'll take Wolverhampton over Burnley at plus 180 and Everton plus 1.5 goals against Liverpool at plus 130. And I'll basically take 100 on each bet. So if I lose a minus 120, then I'll lose, 120 to win 100. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's
So
not bad.
a lot of action.
Yeah, I got you there. That's all right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks,
Yep.
man. Welcome back to town.
Yep. Yeah, the weather sucks.
Why
And
couldn't you bring any
yeah,
sun and warmth with you?
it was here the whole time I was gone, fucker.
It was.
It was, 75 degrees all week long last week? Fucking pissed me off. And then once I get back in, it's 45 and rainy.
Yeah. That sounds about
So
right.
hopefully golf weather will be here soon enough. Maybe we can, hit a golf course up.
I played golf on Thursday. It was nice.
Oh, yeah? Where'd you play?
Shaladon.
Oh, nice. How's it in good shape? It's always in pretty good shape.
Yeah, they do pretty well there. It was all right. But, all right, man.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right, bro. We'll holler. All right.
Before you get into your bets, we do have a request from the gallery.
All right.
Keith Kern would like you to bet on Newcastle, please.
I did.
Good.
Actually,
There we go.
I did. Read my mind. All right. So, here's mine. We ready?
Yep.
I've got a 4-way.
Because that's logical.
The
when
odds
you're in the lead.
The odds are going to tell you.
When you have a $1,100 lead over me, you decide to go ahead and go for a 4-gamer.
Yeah, of course.
Not good gambling.
No,
We'll see about that. I've got Chelsea and Arsenal. Now, this one, I'm going to start you with the question mark. Chelsea, Arsenal draw.
Oh, that's a big question mark.
I don't think we have enough to beat them, but sometimes they misfire a bit.
Heard.
And I think we might, after our last 3 performances, I think Mikel Arteta will have them well drilled in the back.
Heard.
Whoops.
That's your words. Your words.
Second, Newcastle over Palace, Keith. There you go.
Okay.
I have Newcastle to beat Crystal Palace. They're flying right now.
And they're
obviously
at home.
Yeah, exactly. And they always play better at home under Eddie Howe. City to beat Brighton, which I do have as well. That should come through. I just don't think it's going to be over 3.5 goals.
And mine is 3.5 goals total. It's not City 3.5. It's 3.5.
No, yeah. I don't know.
I see 3-1.
That could
I
be.
see 3-1 in that match.
And then I've got Southampton to continue their run on Burnley.
God, I hope so.
And now this is the wild part. The draw really kicked this up, obviously. Plus 2,416.
Wow.
And I'm down $16, which would give me a very satisfying plus 2,400. And I'd be comfortably in first place.
Yeah, you would
Should
be.
Pat miss any part of his.
Very good.
Yep.
Very good. Well, that's not a bad little segment. But,
No, I like it. And part of the aura of this segment, in case anyone's joining us for the first time, is I don't write down the intro. I don't write down the transitions. I don't do any of it because it's sure money. It's sure to entertain you, and it's sure to make you something.
But what we surely need is a fucking chicken.
Rooster.
Well, Kitty got lucky as CR7 netted a hat trick, and she sits at 17-12.
Still better than us.
So I went up to visit Henrietta and Petty. Ooh, boy. Henrietta and Penny.
I'll do it live. I read it
Damn,
cold.
I'm the best cold reader on the show.
That's
God
rude.
damn it.
Penny? Why'd you call her Petty?
Because she says a lot of petty shit about you behind your back. You should see the stuff she says about you not putting product in your hair and what an amateur you are. She's a petty bitch. All right, so I was surprised to find them FaceTiming with her other petty bitch, Kitty.
No shit.
Now-
FaceTiming with Kitty, huh?
I'm so jealous of this chicken's life. Kitty was apparently hanging out in the Mersey on a yacht with LeBron James.
On the Mersey, not in the Mersey. It's the river.
Hanging
so a yacht
out
would be
on the Mersey.
on the
You'd
Mersey.
hope
I
it was
said
on it.
the Mersey.
She said in the
Well, if
Mersey,
it was in it.
assuming that the yacht had sunk into the Mersey, which would not be something we would be very proud of or envious of.
Like I said, Kitty was in the Mersey, and she told the girls that she was helping her friend get over missing the playoffs.
That's right. The Lakers did fall out of the playoffs.
Yeah, so she decided to join him in the
It's,
owner's box at the Derby.
Ooh.
I mean,
I
Derby.
don't like this.
I mean, Derby. I mean, what do I mean? She also said, sorry, guy. Liverpool is beating Everton.
That's what I figured, especially because Everton, LeBron owns a little piece of the pie at Liverpool, too. And it's going to be in the owner's box. Not good for Everton.
Does Kitty ever have good feelings about your team?
I think once she offered up a draw.
Really? That's the best she's done? Mm-hmm. You know what she does have good feelings about?
What's that?
Those people who remember to gamble legally and responsibly.
Championship corner.
Fallen.
and I can't get up.
Oh, no.
Mr. Graham, I think our boys are in trouble. I have a feeling they're going down.
I think they are as well, but I do want to mention real quick that if LeBron's yacht did sink into the Mersey, Kitty would be safe.
Uh-huh.
You know the old Navy superstition tattoo is a pig and a rooster on one on each foot, because every shipwreck in the old days, the pigs and roosters survived because they can either swim or float.
Okay, fair enough.
And they would get them tattooed on the tops of their feet to protect them.
Very, very good. Even though she's a hen, not a rooster.
Well, it's chickens. Chickens float. All chickens float. But it's men. We got to be the cocks, right?
Got to be the cocks.
Come on.
Very good.
Anyway, so it did no go so good this weekend for our boys. Luton 1-0 over Nottingham Forest, which is a bit of a surprise and may throw some playoff implications into the mix.
Absolutely.
Bournemouth and Borough 0-0, which is kind of stymieing Borough's chance as well. Coventry 4-2 over Birmingham, solidifying their playoff spot, I think. Hull and Cardiff, Hull 2-1 over Cardiff. That one does not matter at all. I don't know why I read it out. The Posh got a win over Blackburn, which is not good for our boys.
That's what's ultimately, I think, is Reading and the Posh are both winning.
Reading beat Sheffield United, who's better than them 2-1. Exactly, in the next result I was going to read off. So that's pretty damning for Derby at the moment, which is not good. Although there does seem to be a preferred bidder, so they should stave off a further points deduction, I believe.
Good. So they don't go into League One already having 12 points taken off of their record.
Now, the problem is that preferred bidder apparently had some sort of nefarious comments. I don't know what they were on Twitter from 5 years ago that have surfaced.
What did Mike Ashley say this time?
It wasn't him. It's somebody else. I don't know who it is. West Brom, old Brucey, treated himself to a sausage roll. Got a win 2-1 over Blackpool, which I just wanted to say that. Derby did, however, win 2-1 at Fulham. But with the other two results, I think that may, in keeping the distance of where they are, I think that may solidify Derby's relegation.
Blackpool kicked the shit out of somebody in the midweek too, like a 6-1 or something like that too.
I don't have midweek games for last week.
Yeah, there was some midweek. I thought
there's only Monday.
Oh, Monday, and then there was Sunday
last weekend.
Yeah.
No, Blackpool tied 1-1 with Blackburn.
Let's be honest. Doesn't Monday feel like midweek?
True.
Yeah,
very
that's
true.
fair.
So let's get to the table.
All right, so let's go to the table. Fulham is well and clear, 6 points clear, that is. 83 goals, 58 goals, to the good, 28 over Bournemouth.
Jesus, yeah. I mean, even I think they're 9 now and not 10 points, but they're seeing it out.
It's 6 points clear. They're on 83. Bournemouth are on 77 in second place. Huddersfield are on 73 in third. Luton 71. Down to Forest on 70, and a little bit of a sputter, like I said. But Forest do have 2 games in hand on those around them, so they could further solidify what they need for a playoff push. Sheffield United occupy the last playoff spot on 66 points, having played 2 games less than Forest.
Very good.
Blackburn is in 8th. Millwall looks like they're in 7th. 65 and 63 points for 7th and 8th there. Middlesbrough in 9th looks to have fallen away a bit on 63 points as well, with a not very good goal difference, all 3 of them really, +6, +8, +8. So if they can pick up some of those points, you may see goal difference come into it to decide the last playoff spot there. Down the bottom of the table, Reading now sit on 41 points. Peterborough, the Posh there, on 34, occupying the number 1 relegation position in 22nd place. Derby County now 31 points, so they are 10 points and the same number of games played.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be too much to do.
Yeah. They're probably going down, unfortunately.
And really unfortunately, Barnsley have a game in hand and are on 30 points, so Derby could finish bottom of the table with a -7 goal differential right now.
Mm-hmm.
To put that in perspective, Peterborough have a -45. Reading have a -28. Birmingham up in 20th have a -24. And Barnsley have a -31.
Yeah.
below them.
Barnsley's a bit of a disappointment too. That's a team that was in the playoffs last season, and a team that has famously always been in the second tier. They've never gone up. They've never gone down, and they about to go down.
If Derby were, it's so annoying. I can't believe this. I hate when rich people fuck shit up. It really annoys me.
Right.
Speaking of which, you know what? We'll do a brief thing on that in closing words as well. Derby, 39 plus 13 is 52. 52 points would be good enough for 17th.
Yeah. Yep.
If they didn't have the fucking points deduction.
All right. That's going to wrap it up, boys and girls. Sammy, go ahead with the parting words. I know there's a lot of them.
All right. So briefly, because we don't normally cover it, the Washington Commanders are being investigated by the FBI for their owner, who is known to allow sexual harassment to occur in the office, number one. Number two, we found out forces cheerleaders to entertain corporate guests.
Pimps his cheerleaders to corporate guests. Yeah. Pimps his fucking cheerleaders.
Now we found out steals season ticket holders' deposits.
He is a pimp and a thief.
Yeah. So that's unfortunate. One that hits close to home for us.
Oh, and by the way, says racist shit in emails that only Gruden gets fired for, but not him.
Right. Gruden should have been fired.
But he
also
gets away
Dan
with
Snyder,
it.
right, should have been made to go the route of
Got away with it.
Don Sterling,
Yeah.
if you remember that in the NBA. Should have been made to go that route and forced out. But, you know.
The federal fucking government is investigating him.
So brilliant. So there's that one. The next one is just rich people in general fucking shit up. So I don't really care for what's happening at Derby, obviously, or what happened at Reading, to their credit as well. That's a bit unfortunate. The other one is one that the kind of football community, the football community at large always respects, that everybody always gets behind. On Friday, the 15th, was the anniversary of the Hillsborough tragedy, in which 96 Liverpool supporters lost their lives in an FA Cup game. I believe it may have been an FA Cup semifinal.
Yeah, it was. It was back in those days.
They played at
They were all played at Middlesbrough. They were played at Villa Park.
Well, they were played at. I believe they were played at the stadium.
Yeah.
I think they were a two-legged affair back then, and they were played at the stadium of the two teams, because it was Sheffield United that was there. I think.
No, that would have been.
It would have been Wednesday.
No, I thought Middlesbrough was.
No, Hillsborough was
Wednesday.
Middlesbrough played at the Riverside.
Yeah.
So it would have been either Sheffield United or Sheffield Wednesday. I forget which one plays there, but I think it's United. But in the standing room, part of the reason standing room was banned, they allowed too many fans in. There was a surge being pushed towards the field, which had fencing and stuff in front of it, and 96 supporters were crushed to death, to the point where over the hoardings and small fencing that was there, players were trying to grab people and help them over to avoid them getting crushed. And that's a tragedy in and of itself, and it's very sad, and that's a problem, and a lot of stadium safety and everything else came out of that, which is it's
also a lot of cover up where the fans
a silver
were
lining,
blamed.
a silver lining, and a good thing with the stadium safety and all that kind of stuff. But the real tragedy for me is when the authorities try to cover stuff up. And when we kind of, I guess, when we do it to ourselves, and to an extent, it's a little bit of an easier pill to swallow. But for them to have gotten everything wrong, then blamed us as regular citizens, and then to cover it up for 20-odd years, is absurd. And that's and to not give these families closure, to not accept responsibility for killing these people, to not do any of that is absolutely fucking ridiculous to me.
And then what happened this weekend?
Manchester City fans interrupted the minute silence
Quote
for
fans.
the Hillsborough the moment of silence for the Hillsborough remembrance that happened on Saturday because no one played on Friday, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
We have always spoken about how good most English fans are about this, and a few to some Manchester City fans decided to take an opportunity here and shit on, again, 96 people. And that's not fucking right. And it doesn't sit well with me at all.
Your bitter rival that is 1 mile apart from you in your own fucking city honors that day with you every fucking year. And these bought supporters think they're better than everybody and decide to make noise during a moment of silence. I was pretty fucking low. We talk about D-back, the old D-back bear right there. That is absolutely an exemplary moment of not being a certain word.
Yeah. I was going to say it.
Yeah.
And I should say it because they deserve to be called it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're cunts.
Yeah.
That's all there
Fair
is
enough.
to it.
Fair enough.
FCC will allow us one a show.
Okay, very good. Well, I'm glad you didn't say it, because if you said it, that would have been 2, and then we would have been fucked.
Hey, just hit the bleep. You can edit a bleep. You can produce a bleep, can't you?
It was off mic, doesn't count.
Or doesn't count. All right.
It just grinds my fucking gears. You know what I mean? It really pisses me off.
Oh, and by the way, we also found out that Bullet is not just.
Oh, that was the other one. Yeah,
not just well, I'll tell us this one and I'll send us out. Not just is their owner homophobic. Apparently, when they hired.
Wait. Say the whole thing. Homophobic against his own daughter.
Right, homophobic against his own
It's
daughter.
one thing to hate people you can't see,
but
it's another thing to hate your child.
Right, and then
it's a special breed of dickhead.
And then talk about your child to the press about her own shortcomings, like very
perceived shortcomings,
mental issues
because,
that she had dealt with.
The views of Bullet Bourbon do not show the views of the Do You Follow Show.
The larger company of Bullet hires a black female to become the master blender. She goes on to get an award-winning bourbon, the bourbon that we would not drink last year because of the owner of Bullet being an asshole, to come to find out they were racist towards her, and then just to add in a little insult to injury, threw some anti-Semitic remarks up on the wall while they were doing their thing as well. So if ever you want to understand why myself and Mr. Graham, as members of the spirits industry, will never, ever have a sip of Bullet or encourage our friends to have a sip of Bullet,
I won't drink it if it's free.
understand they are a bunch of homophobic, racist, anti-Semitic assholes.
If I remember correctly, one of your whiskey advocate lists only had top 19.
Yeah, that was last year. That's what I just mentioned, was that master blender got number 3 whiskey last year.
Well, you know what?
And we didn't drink it.
If you tan your balls, you got the Juve.
Alrighty, boys and girls, let's gonna wrap it up. Next up is injury time. We're gonna review the beers we've been drinking. We're gonna check in on all of our adopted clubs, and we're gonna preview the midweek and weekends action for the Premier League. Should one want to find injury time, how do they go about doing it, Mr. Graham?
It's very easy, and if you want to understand the reference I just made about ball tanning and Juve, you'd do well to subscribe to the Patreon, which is patreon.com/DUFootballShow, because you'll also get Soundcheck, our pre-show actual Soundcheck, where we talk about our weekend and random news stories like that, which is kind of fun. Also, you get injury time, as Sam discussed there, where we preview everything that's going on, talk about the beers of the adopted clubs, and have some fun. The other way that you can support the show and get in touch is through the DU Drip Shack, where you can get all of your T-shirt, long sleeve shirt, hoodie, pillow, scarf. Do we do scarves?
No scarves.
No scarves yet.
Next season.
Next season, we got a scarf coming, so get on that. Scarves are only going to be available to people that already purchased something.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
No,
All right.
I don't think that's how
What
it
are the
works.
trying to drive business?
I would just like them to purchase anything. We
They-
don't need to now set.
They are
guidelines
allocated.
around us.
Scarves are
We
allocated.
do not want to set guidelines for them to give us money, Sam.
Yeah.
Just say thank you for the money. It's very simple.
Scarves are allocated. They cost us $12. We're charging you $2.50.
They can get a shower curtain though.
Can they really?
Yes.
I'm buying a shower curtain when I get home. That's fucking brilliant. We do shower curtains?
Yeah, why not?
I think she's lying. I think this is a big elaborate joke.
Well, maybe you'll have to go to the Drip Shack and find out.
The link for the Drip Shack is in all of our socials, which again is at DU Football Show on all 3 of the major platforms: Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
And on all those links will be, on all those social platforms will be links to the Maryland Podcast Awards, which
voting,
we are
yeah.
very honored to have been nominated for the 2nd year in a row for a lot of different categories, but most importantly, Best Sports Show and Best Production, because we'd love to give it up to producer Mel. You get a chance, please go.
Well, you're her husband. You better.
Tag us and give us a few votes. It would really mean a lot. And until next week, everybody.
Good night.